Chuck Todd is with us here in New York to talk about the politics of this. And from Washington, we've got Tom Goldstein. He's a lawyer who specializes in Supreme Court litigation. He's also the founder of the award-winning SCOTUS blog. Chuck and Tom, good morning to you.
Morning, guys. Morning.
Tom, you got the Supreme Court wired. I know you know everything there is to know about it. But for folks who don't follow it as closely, explain why this particular retirement is such a big deal. In the past, you've had a liberal replacing a liberal, a conservative replacing a conservative. This has the potential to reshape the court.
That's exactly right. Justice Kennedy is the is the vote in the center. He's a conservative, but on questions like, do you preserve the core of Roe versus Wade? Do you permit affirmative action? Can same-sex couples get married? He was the one who would join with the liberals sometimes. So now President Trump and conservatives have the chance to make a really solid 5-justice conservative majority that could change the law in those and other areas.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tom, I mean, I think that's the issue for a lot of people. They look at the abortion ruling. They look at the gay marriage ruling, depending on where you sit. You'd like to see some big change there. So is it possible the court could reverse those decisions?
Well, anything is possible, and technically Roe versus Wade could be overruled. But even if it isn't, it could be cut back a lot. And certainly affirmative action in higher education and public schools could be eliminated. You could have more restrictions on voting rights claims, employment discrimination claims. Even though the Supreme Court's very conservative, it still has a long way that it could go further.
So, Chuck, let's talk about this nomination process now. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says we're going to have a vote by the fall. Chuck Schumer and other Democrats say, wait a minute, let's play by your rule from 2016 and say we have to wait until after the election before this nominee is voted on. What's this next 3-4 months going to look like?
Look, I think it's going to be extraordinarily ugly. I think you have a bunch of Senate Democrats still angry at how the Supreme Court opening, the Scalia seat, was handled both in 16 and 17. So I think there's going to be some form of attempted revenge, but I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know, other than beating your chest and jumping up and down, I don't know what more Chuck Schumer and Senate Democrats can do. So that said, I do think it's interesting here. Mitch McConnell wants to march forward. You could make a case politically. It'd be better for Republicans to have the open seat on the ballot. Nothing rallies the right like an open Supreme Court seat.
But there's a gamble to that.
That would be a gamble.
If they lose the House,
right,
if they lose the Senate.
If the left were really energized and people said,
Exactly.
okay, now I'm going to come out and vote in these midterms. Now I suddenly care because I see what the stakes are. But, I mean, you only need 51 votes to confirm a Supreme Court justice now. So, I mean, is there really any suspense?
Well, sure, because I think Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins are going to care about what this potential justice is going to say about abortion. I think Jeff Flake is a wild card here. He's a retiring senator. He's already threatened to block some judges.
You just
All
mentioned.
3 are Republicans. He could easily gum things up. Let's say the Mueller has new things that come out. He could be somebody that gums things up. Remember, they can only lose, without John McCain's vote sitting there, they can only lose one vote on the Republican side at all and still hope to get there. So, yes, there'll be some pressure on some red state Democrats. Joe Manchin, Heidi Heitkamp, where the president was last night. I think in North Dakota and in Indiana, there'll be pressure there. But those will be, I think, the 6 senators that will feel the most pressure.
So, Tom, you said last night, I believe it was, that this nominee could get 56 votes in the Senate. When do you think this vote will take place? And is there any chance that this nominee is not actually sat on the bench?
Well, I think there's a chance if some unexpected discovery came out, but this list has already been vetted pretty well over the past couple of years. I think that you'll get to that number of votes in all likelihood because when Democrats realize they can't block the nominee unless there's some great surprise, then the Democrats running for office right now in states that Trump carried really have no reason not to go ahead and vote for the person. So I do think you'll see something where it's not a razor-thin vote in the end.
All right. Tom Goldstein, always good to have you. Chuck, you as well. Thank you so much. And, of course, Chuck will have a lot more this Sunday. Meet the Press. Lots to talk about.
Thank you, guys.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.